Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In today's video, we're looking at the NRL Fantasy team after round 5. So, if I just go back to round 5, you can see we cracked the 1,000, so 1,009 points for the round, which was about top 5,000 for the round. And we're just outside the top 20,000, so that's an increase of about 13,000 in rank, which is really awesome. I'm sorry, round 5. And so what that came down to, I think, is a lot of our guns fired this week that we've kept the faith in. So Harry Grant was our captain, and pretty sure he will end up being the right choice. So 87 could have been him or Murray. They both scored the same in reality. So I guess speaking of which, Cam Murray 87. So I know he was one a lot of people traded out to try to get Hines in. It was definitely an idea I flirted with, but glad I held. On that because obviously he scored more points this week, and then also um, we'll score his future points as we try to build the bank to bring in the $1 million man. Isaiah Yo 64, so that's another really solid score. That's what we paid the big bucks to get him in for. And Sean Kepi 26, I think that's about right for him. Obviously, I think we want to look at bringing Brandon Smith back into the middle, and then Kepi might just about be tapped out in terms of his cash, so he could be one we cash out to make some more cash, more money. Saying cash a lot this morning. um, Jacob Preston, so 82, absolutely massive effort. He does have the injury designation, so did have an injury with his hand due to the power of Max King's eye. um, but yeah, like he's still making lots of money. He'll have a ridiculously low break even. So even if he's out, it won't be for long. He's a hold. He'll come back into the team as soon as he's ready. If he doesn't make the 5 day turnaround. Jermaine Hopgood 51. So his cash generation has probably topped out. But if he's producing 50s, I think that's more than fine on the edge. Cleary, so 80 back, easily his best game of the year. And obviously the Panthers' best game of the year against the Raiders. Peasant, so he made us a bit of money, but Hughes will be back this week. Um, so probably we're hoping for a bit more out of him, but it was a bit of a gamble to try and make some money. Val Holmes with 47, so that's solid. But again, I think he's the one on the chopping block in terms of bringing in an average of 83 and a half. Lemuelu 36, so that's pretty solid as like a base for a centre in fantasy, so that's okay. We'll take that. Tyrell Sloan 52, so the Dragons, yeah, they look pretty good against the Dolphins. Without, I guess the Dolphins didn't have a lot of direction around the halves, so the Dragons are always going to get opportunities. Tommy Chester, so 43, scored us a try, made some really good points and money for us over the past few weeks, but he's going to go this week because of Scott Drinkwater's return. And Nickel Clockstad 41, so that's sort of I guess what we were hoping to get out of him, so we'll take that. On the bench, Damien Cook 75. Again, he's the gun who has to sit there because we got Harry Grant as well. But happy with that. Jackson Ford, so 43. That's really good. His cash generation is really going to take off now. That falls out of his average. The Cheese 48, his best score for the year. So we held him for a reason, and he's done the business. So we had Sonny Luke there in the loophole spot, and looking at Alamotti, we should have took that score, but I guess figured they were all going to be around this 30 mark, so we stuck with Katoa. Matt Dury with a 30 and Warbrick with a 33. Excuse me. Excuse me again. So the plan for this week in Operation Cash Grab, we've got 182 currently. So if we use Holmes as the target, right, we still need a couple of hundred. So the first one is Tom Chester's going to go, and Khan Pereira in. Alright, so we've got a $47 in the bank, plus he's going to make a bit of money this week against the Dragons. So we'll lock that trade in. And then the second trade, if we can we order by average, that's what it might already be. No, it's not. So any bargains here? Morgan Harper, 61. I guess he probably only played his first game. 1 second, I'll have a drink. Try to get this scratchy throat out of the way. Excuse me. So, Carl Lawton there. So 290k. Obviously, isn't really playing. You sort of fill in at hooker if Croak is out, I'd guess, but don't know. Smith, no, I don't know about him. I think he was on the bench, wasn't he? Nothing particularly jumps out at the very top of the tree. Might have to consult the fantasy break-even site to have a closer look. I think it's some. Let's go. Well, let's go in the centres. Maybe we cash out on Val Holmes this week. Brandon Best, pretty sure. Oh no, he only had 40. I thought he scored a few tries. Obviously not. Wonder how far Tommy Talau's off. So casually ward out, yeah. There we go. Tigers, there we go. If we scroll down to the bottom. So he is due back this week, and I know he was super cheap. Yeah, 226. So, I mean, if he's named, it could just be a case of Holmes out and Talau in. Talau. And then we've got 600k. So then next week, if we were to go from Pezzett to Hines, that's about 670. So I just need to find another 70k trade. And I think it's probably going to be Kepi on the chopping block for whoever we can afford. Well, so maybe the other option really, if we go back to trades. Let's just roll back the team. The easiest way. So we'll swap the cheese out first. We'll swap the cheese in, sorry, for Kepi. And then, we cut Kepi now for Talau. And And then the other trade was Tom Chester, wasn't it? Got Chester out and Khan Pereira in. Yeah, so there's the 400k. So it could even be doing it that way. It could actually just be Holmes next week, straight to Hines. Pezzett would be a bit of a dead rookie on the bench, but that's the chance we have to take. Although I just realised Leeds is short of a halfback this week. Okay, plan C. Back to the trades. So not Talau. Because yeah, he's dropped 24k, so even with a big score, his price won't get away from us. So we go with hang on. Bring Cappy back to the subs bench. Because yeah, if we don't trade in someone, we'll have to play Katoa, which isn't ideal. But this trade's still on regardless. Confirm trade. And then Kepi out, we've got 646. I've got to get rid of the filter. So halves. And the points. So 646. So we could go Cody Walker. He'll bump up in price a bit and we can flip next week. Matt Burton for 1 week. Maybe. So I guess it's just how do we think the Bulldogs South game's going to go. Did might be an option. I think after that we probably haven't got the scoring upside available, so SJ would be nice if we could afford him. Or Ben Hunt against the Gold Coast. Interesting. Let's just go Ben Hunt, I think. Again, I'll have to have a proper look at break evens and the like, but if we lock that in, so then in terms of how we shape up this week, we could play Hunt. I think Ford, just in case Preston doesn't get up. And then after that, I guess swap Pezza with, say, Warbrick. Right, well, man, in terms of the order, we hope Preston gets up, but if he doesn't, we'll slide down. I think Alamotti, he's playing well enough that he deserves a spot. And I guess probably, if Luke's playing, we'd take Luke, but then Katoa or Rick Dewey. Probably that. Hopefully one of these guys plays. But yeah, it's only early, so we'll just leave it as it is and we'll see how we go. But yeah, that's how the team's looking after round 5. So if you've got any thoughts on, maybe some different options to how we get Nico Hines in, let me know by commenting on the video. Obviously, if you're loving the NRL fantasy stuff, feel free to like, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in the full range of, football fantasy based stuff. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.